every single haircut, she says it's a 3-month spiel.
The 3-month spiel. So someone else tell me how often or how fast does our hair grow? Half inch a month. And how often should we be scheduling our haircuts? 3 months. And if you're taking off a ½ inch, that means you still have what left? An inch left. And so if you've done that 4 times in 1 year, so every 3 months.
I'm loving your guys' embodiment of all the
So if you do that 4 times in 1 year,
yes.
how many inches will you have gained healthy hair in 1 year? 4. Right? Who doesn't want 4 new inches of healthy hair? All right.
It's true.
So,
and it works.
it do work, actually. How we make our car pants. Square, perimeter, round. Okay, so for those of you who have forgotten what a square looks like, does square have corners?
Yes.
Yes. If we were to take a square box and drop it over this doll head's head, where would the corners be?
Back.
So where, like in relationship to my hands, where are the corners? Corner of my hand, right? So that means the corner of a 1 length is literally right here. If we were to take a tape measure and measure every single hair on the head, from the nape, from the occipital, from the temple, and then from behind the ears, in theory, where are the longest hairs on the head? In the corners. Oh my gosh, yes, you guys are doing it. I love this. So, we were taught in beauty school some crazy stuff, actually. It's insane to me. I need will you grab a color book?
Yes. Can I record you?
I have, it's YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I'm setting it up I literally am doing it for you.
Okay.
Yes, but yes, you can record, you can take pictures, you can post, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
But you do not need to record the whole class because every class
Yeah.
I record and I make a training document with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I need some hands. I need someone to come here and just hold this right here for me.
Did you want to go to the website?
Yes, I'll do it. Or you got it?
No.
Okay, well let's deal with that in a little bit. So I want you guys to come here behind me. Just don't stand right in front of the camera here. So if our doll head, or I'm sorry, if our client, if these are her shoulders, right? And that's how her hair hangs naturally. We were taught to bring all of our hair back like this, right? And cut her at a 1 length. What shape is that? It's not a square and it's not round.
Right.
Why is it triangular? It's because
This is the longest.
where are the longest pieces? In the front, right? So that's why it's triangular. And why are they longer? Because they have a sorry. It's okay. Good thing they were closed.
Yeah.
Because they have a distance of travel, right? 0 travel, longest travel, straight line, shortest point, longest point, right? So when you guys pull your client's hair straight back, not you guys, but novice stylists who don't have access to premium education, pull the hair straight back, cut across, and then they're like, okay, let's go ahead and do some face framing here. Da, 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 da. Her true length is right here, correct? Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
But yet, when I pull these haircuts forward, I see this massive, I'm gonna turn this. Okay, put up the little book again. I see a massive literal corner right here, and the length only comes to about right there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And so, when we get these pictures in of heavy layered looks, like the Victoria's Secret model, or like the luscious butterfly or via cuts, like Brittany and I do quite a few of those, and Allie is starting to like really learn how to nail those as well. But the first thing I have to explain is, first off, Whoever cut your hair last left massive corners in the front, which you think is your length, but it's not your length. It's literally hair above the ears and over the temple that gives you this corner, because if you pull everything back, it's not a square, it's a triangle, right? So in order to invert that into a round shape, which is usually the perimeter for these heavy layered looks, mind you, in fact, I'm gonna give her a little, just one layer cut for the demonstration purposes. And Allie knows this is like a beef of mine. Like seeing the corners. The first thing I'm gonna do when I walk up to a client, you guys are like, hey, can you help me with her haircut? I'm gonna be like, did she ask for a long triangular one length? No? Okay, then we're gonna cut these corners off, because that's not true length. So anyways, so as soon as we pull this forward, you guys see the nape is here, and the points of the triangle are here, right? And our client wants to have this heavy, luscious layer. We now have to invert her from what was a triangle now to a round, okay? Meaning, in a round, the longest point on the head is where? In the center, very back, okay? So now we are literally flip-flopping the angles of her haircut. And I have to explain to them, hey girlie, I want to give you this haircut. I think the heavy layers are great. You have the density, you have the texture, you have all the things, right? But you got to understand that your length, your true length, and I pull it from the nape, your true length is here, not here. And for me to give you those layers, I have to cut you like this, right? And though even that I'm taking just a 1/2 inch off of her true length, there's a good 4 inches coming off right here. Which is why clients go home and they're like, I asked for a 1/2 inch and she took off 4. Why do they think that? Well, we failed to explain why she has corners. Correct? Is everybody tracking? So next time you get a client in, you pull their shape forward and you see corners and they're like, I want heavy rounded layers, which we know are round, but you probably won't use those words. It's your job to explain to them how this is going to impact the visual presentation of their hair, especially when they go home and style it and they're like, look, where did my hair go, right? So again, if we're going to invert a triangle, it becomes a round, right? So it's no longer this, it's now this, right? We literally are taking all of that off. See, this is our length in the back. Crazy, right? Okay. As long as we're good on that, let's return back to the concept of the square though, okay? So I'm gonna turn her back around. I don't know that I need that right now, but I might ask you to do it again. So we're turning back to the concept of the square. It is perfectly acceptable, based off the density and texture of the hair, to condense cut your original guide, your first guide for your actual square, which means center the nape of the back of the head, right? So from here, let's see if I can go down any shorter. Let's go up any higher. Where should your cutting point always be? Cutting line. At your heart, right? And your elbows should be at a 90 straight out, right? If you have swivel shears, you can bend at the knuckle, okay? Never bend at the wrist. We don't cut like this. You will get carpal tunnels. I have a bad habit of doing this sometimes, and now at 15 years in, I feel it when I do it. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, and I'm gonna straighten that out because it doesn't feel good, right? If you have swivel shears, you can cut at the knuckle like this, right? 90 at the knuckle. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that center back guide. You can already see right here how it becomes triangular, right? It's not at a perfect 90. hard for me to guide where her ears are when she has no shoulders. Okay. Mind you, everything from behind the ear here, I am pulling to my straight cutting line in the back, okay? I'm not going to where the hair lays to cut it straight. I'm bringing it to that straight line. All the hair must travel to that imaginary perimeter of the box. It has to. We can't compensate. As soon as you turn your body and you start cutting a straight line around the head, what shape is that? It's actually round because we've just cut off all the corners, right? You guys, and when we do a square one leg correctly, especially on the longer lob or bob type haircuts, it's freaking gorgeous. Anytime I have a client going from a short haircut to a longer haircut grow out, if they're triangular, we got to meet it all to one length, so we wait for them to get to a square, and usually it's about here. And this is my favorite area to deliver a square haircut. Right here, okay? Anything really past the armpit at that square one length, you are literally pointing arrows to their arm fat right here, especially when we're older. So like you're literally creating arrows for people to look at their frame. So my favorite place to put it is from here to here, right? But that's just my design preference. You guys can combination, use these shapes for however you want. Okay, we've done the straight line in the back. Now it's time to do our 90-degree over the temple, the side of the temple. So if we know that my corner lives right here, correct? This is the longest point on the head. Then that means I'm bringing everything else to that cutting line. Cutting straight across to the 90. There we go. Just realized I'm in the way. Okay. We'll do the other side as well. The corner of our haircut lives right behind the ear. Yeah, you can see that's the longest point right there. You guys see my guide? That shortest point is the guide that lives behind the ear. And we're just gonna cut straight across. What do we do next? Check the balance. I love how I've brainwashed you guys. So we do a lot of perimeter cutting first here, like perimeter cutting, hair cutting. Meaning we cut the perimeter first. And this is how I teach you guys because it's easier to understand. If you can cut a balanced perimeter, meaning just the length, no internal, no layering, no texture, just the length, right? The silhouette of the length, and you can get it balanced, you can nail the rest of the haircut. You can fucking lose your guides all day long. It doesn't matter because the length becomes your guide. Do you understand? As long as you never cut into the length, you're not going to be changing the overall shape of the haircut. Yeah, our layers may get a little wonky here and there, but like layering should be like the easiest part, I'm telling you. So I'm checking balance, still a little long on her right side. So I'm gonna go back, oh yeah, I can see the angle. You guys see that? That's why I'm longer. Cut straight at 90, now I'm gonna check my balance. What I always tell you guys about balance, you can feel your balance before you can see it. That's why, literally, if you stood here with your eyes closed and you're standing with good posture and so does the client, as long as you're grabbing two symmetrical points on the head, you could be like, oh, actually this one's like a millimeter shorter. But what's worth cutting and what's not, right? Your hands will tell you. Even though to the millimeter, I can tell you this one's shorter, I'm not gonna go back and start chasing length on this side. There's no need, right? So we always check balance. You cut a line, you check the balance. You cut a line, you check the balance. You cut a line, you check the balance until the perimeter is done. Everybody cool on that? From here, that's when we start adding in square layers, triangular layers, or this could be triangular layers even, or we can do round layers, right? So those are our only options. 90, rounded, or at an angle. So this could be it, this could be it, okay? Actually, this is technically graduation, but we're not gonna get into that today because I don't believe everything that you get taught in school. So, from here, let's take this to a, what do I wanna take it into? I wanna take it into a round one length, okay? So we kind of just talked about inverting something that was a triangle because someone pulled it all the way back, cut it straight across and assumed it was a one length. Now we have to invert it into a round, right? So the first thing I do when they go from that cornery triangular one length is I just trim the true length in the back, 1/2 inch. And I even take my first cut and I hold it and I show it to them. This is how much I cut off the back of your hair. And they're like, oh, that's not bad at all. I'm like, yeah, but wait, watch. As soon as we divide this in half, where did Allie go? Oh, there she is. Where's Nick? Oh.
You like your tattoo?
Is this your doll head? Oh.
I got there.
As soon as we start pulling everything forward, and we show them, like I said, you'll be like, here's your true length. And before I even make my first cut, I'm like, hey girlie, I'm gonna literally cut off and I'll grab their hair and I'll show them, I'm literally cutting off that much. Are you okay with that? And they're like, I'm like, we gotta do it to get you the layers that you want, right? That heavy layered, beautifully designed round layer.
How would you explain it to them if they're not like a hairdresser, not like freak them out? Like,
Exactly the way I'm teaching you right now. What I say to my clients is exactly what I'm teaching you right now. Like I literally use the word square, triangular, and round, right? Basic concept. So if I was going to do true round, I would take the length from the nape, the guy in the back, and I would literally just be connecting it to my face framing. That is drama right there though, you guys, okay? So, adaptation for the round one length. Mind you, I would only suggest doing this once you're very experienced doing round shapes because you have to know how to appropriately connect those 2 points without just chopping it all off. Like, because once you go from longest point to shortest point and you pull it all back, it straight looks like a triangle. And some women like that and some women don't, right? It also depends on the length, density and texture. And if you're ever confused on where you should start your round one length, you can ask myself or Brittany and be like, oh, well, I think we should start from here, right? So again, tell me, where are the corners on my square one length? Right behind the ear. So what I'm gonna do is actually take from behind the ear, and now I'm gonna start connecting it to that round, okay? So that way when she pulls it back, it looks like more of a gentle U, okay? So that is the adaptation to this. If we're talking true disciplined round one length, it would be longest point on the nape to the shortest point on the fringe. And it would,
You know when people get like really shitty layers that like end up looking like a mustard kind of? Is that because someone tried doing a round and they...
Usually that's too short of a square.
Yeah, and then usually what I see is that they're taking this whole top crown section straight up and chopping it.
Without a true guide or understanding of where it's gonna fall.
Because you can have a top guide also with like your base guide, but when you're taking a whole crown section, it's gonna mushroom like this because there's so much hair on the top. You're basically taking the whole top of the head.
Yes.
So that's how that kind of
A little off the
goes
top.
wrong.
Yeah, just a little off the
Yeah.
top. It's fine.
A little mushroom
And it gets
look.
worse with the density of the hair. too.
Yes.
And the texture.
Yeah. So if we're gonna talk about that, yes, we take a whole bunch up and we just cut it straight at the top. There's a huge, huge corner right here. And when that falls down, it literally sits like a corner, right? So instead of doing that, my suggestion is learn your round layers. So that way you have a round balloon shape from length to top layer. And when it lays down rounded,
Yep.
right? So I highly advise be disciplined if you're going to do a square one length with square layers. You guys have videos of the square one length square layers. It's so easy to do, but mind you, I'm very modest in taking my guide with a square one length, literally only taking off like that much because that puts her layers right here and not her shortest layer right here. Okay. Let's return to the adaptation of the round one length, okay? A gentle U. If I'm not taking a guide from the back, if I'm taking my guide from behind the ear and then starting my round one length, what combination perimeter is this? What?
Square.
It's a round and square. It's a round and square, right? Square would be in the back up until the ears, that's your guide, and then it would be round in the front. Oh my God, you guys just learned combination cutting. Yay. Tell me if that's not tracking with you. If that concept is getting lost on you, you want me to explain it again.
Can you explain it again?
Okay, so square one length, drop the box, corners are here, right? One length here, one length here, one length here. A round one length is truly the length from the nape to the length in the face framing. Goes this way, okay? If I pull everything back, it's gonna look like a hard V. Instead of doing that, if we want a gentle round, we're gonna leave the square shape in the back. We're gonna leave the corners that sit behind the ear. We're gonna travel and use this guide to then start the round. So it'll be square back here, round up front. That's a combination perimeter, right? Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, actually, like this haircut is pretty common.
Yes.
Like this
I was
exact
saying that.
combination is so
I
common.
have a question.
That's
Yes.
kind of a lot of the
When we
haircuts I
cut
do.
round, and if you are doing a square and round, so I understand that behind the ears is the guide.
Hey, you guys, let's listen to Allie's question real quick.
I understand that behind the ears is the guide. How do you
Hey
know?
guys, we stand and learn. Sorry. We sit in beauty school.
How do you know the angle of like how high she's facing? You know what I mean?
And the only reason I make an exception is baby, and then also,
Well,
this is my teacher.
so you're gonna establish where you're gonna have the shortest length in the
Because you're
front for the
asking
face.
like how short.
So
the
I
face
would
is.
like separating this behind the ear. This whole section in the back is going to be your square,
Right.
and then these front pieces you can establish whatever the shortest piece in the guide in the front, and you can meet those two corners together.
So that's why when we're like, oh, we want like wherever they want their face cream to start, do you cut that part first or you just do the thing?
Oh, a guide. Are you talking about a guide?
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Establishing that shortest length in the front.
Can I be 100% with you right now? This is kind of what I do. When they're like, okay, I want my face framing to start right here, and I already know I'm gonna do a combination and leave the square in the back because I'm gonna make less face framing up front, so I'm just gonna simply connect these 2 points. In all honesty, okay, so you travel away from what you want to keep and towards what you want to cut, right? So we take this guide from behind the ear, we travel it forward, and I literally imagine, okay, how do I want this to look? I don't necessarily want it to look like this. I don't want there to be a corner right here, right? I kind of want it tapered into a softer face framing. So then sorry guys, I gotta tell you, I kind of do one of these. I'll kind of cut here, and then I'll cut here, and then I'll cut here, and then I kind of like meet in the middle. Like it's very, like, it's a tactful approach. You have to, again, keep in mind your geometries, what you're actually trying to achieve. But if I know that is my guide right there, I'm not gonna cut into that. I'm gonna start where I think I want my face framing to start.
Oh, so you can have a side.
Well, because I don't want to create a corner where that face framing starts, right?
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, what other gap do I need to close? And usually I go in with point
That
cutting
makes so much sense.
like that. You see how I'm now cutting that little corner off that was right here? Keeping in mind this is my guide. And I feel like she's still a little heavy. You guys can see she's heavy right here if I'm looking at the perimeter. So I'd like to angle this up a little bit more to soften that corner.
Well,
I'm just gonna do a little bit more here. Check my perimeter again. And then if I look at this and she's still heavy here, deep point cutting. Deep point cutting.
So what should this
So we're-
look for me,
And you've only taken this class with me like 3 times, so.
No, but you've never really explained that one.
Okay, you're right. So
In
here's
my
the thing.
defense.
This is why we repeat education, and I'm never gonna apologize for it.
I think the only reason that had already clicked for me is because I've watched you do it so many times. I've watched you do it so many times.
I do it
Just that
pretty similar.
exact.
Like, I don't do it exactly the way Lauren does it, but I do it in a
You-
similar fashion.
Yeah,
I
a
think
similar
tried
approach
to
of like,
explain
I kinda got an
similar
eyeball,
to
what do
me
I
a
want
couple
this
weeks
shape
ago.
to look like?
I usually will
What?
establish.
I think it
some
was when
sort
I was
of
doing my sister.
skinny
Yeah, and I was
line
like,
in
I don't
front
know,
of
that's
my
not
length,
clicking
and
for
then
me yet. And then I
I'll
watched
go in
Lauren
and
do it a
I'll
couple times.
bring my
And it
angles
clicked.
together. and
Wait,
then-
Brittany, can you repeat what you just said?
Sorry.
So typically for me, because I do it similarly to Lauren, but usually I'll take these front pieces, this little triangular section, just a tiny little triangle here, and I'll establish how short I want my shortest piece, and then when it separates, I have a guideline on each side, and then I'll take that and I'll bring this
Yeah,
forward,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I'll come down this way.
Yep.
And I'll just make sure that we're meeting that way. Also for me, I'm not going past the shortest length, but I do give myself a little bit of grace. Like
Yes.
I'll cut it a little bit longer than I really want to target for it, just if I need to like do any type of adaptations or remove bulk or just kind of do finishing stuff. I always leave myself like a 1/4 inch, sometimes 1/2 inch, just to make sure, depending on the front and calyx and just different things that happen with different people. But
Do you
yeah,
guys hear the very important point there? Start long.
yeah, start long.
Can I
Start
ask
long.
something?
Because you can always take more off.
For us, would you guys recommend doing it your way or starting with a different guy?
You're
Or
gonna
just what I
learn
told
what
you?
Yes.
works for you.
Yeah,
What we need to know and what does not change is the geometry.
Right.
yeah,
Is the roadmap, okay? You guys will learn different techniques how to get there. Point cutting, straight cutting, slide
Yeah.
cutting. It's like it all removes, if you do it long enough, it's all gonna remove length, right?
yeah.
Like when I cut fringe, I actually point cut to remove length, right? That's still removing length.
Mhm.
Like when we're doing face framing, I slide cut. I'll actually do C's in the hair like this. Like if this is the client, I'll actually do C's as I open and close my shears just slightly, right? Slide cutting, I'm still removing length. We can straight cut. We can straight cut like this, right? So when you start talking about double action cutting, and I know that I've been telling you guys I would start introducing you to this concept for those of you who've had this class before. Double action cutting is not just straight cutting, okay? Double action cutting means you know your cutting line, and now you are going to position your hand and body in something that is not a straight line to start cutting it, okay? So C shapes, slide cutting, point cutting. Notice how they're all at different angles. My point cutting when I'm taking length is at a 45. My point cutting when I'm taking density is at a 90, right? So, I love you, Brittany.
I love you too. I love you too.
We just are on the same brain length,
Yeah,
brain wave.
yeah. Whatever it is. Wave and length.
Yes. So this is where we start
Yeah.
double action cutting, right? Single action is just cut the line, know where your line is, right? A to B. Double action is we're gonna start manipulating our hand positioning and our shears to do something different to remove that perimeter, okay?
But
So-
you have to have those fundamentals down before you can start doing these different details and
Double action.
double actions and stuff. Because if you don't, you have to have that base and then build upon it.
All right, girlies over there, I want you to come over here real quick, please. So you can see, if I were to pull this all forward in front of her shoulder, this is the angle or the cutting line of the square because the longest point is behind the back of the ear. Do you see that? And from here I start my round. I will literally pull their hair forward. I will give tension to the drape so I can like literally fan everything out, and I can then design and really perfect the perimeter as it lays on that drape. Do you see that? So we've now just given her a little bit of a round. I don't like this shape right here where I'm looking at her. I don't like this specific area. This grosses me out. It's a little heavy, but we don't necessarily want to take her face framing shorter. So I'm going to do one of these. Boom. And I know it's not the perimeter because I just checked the shape of the perimeter. See, now it looks a little bit more pretty. This is not as ugly right here, right? Okay, so one more time. As review, this is actually a combination cut. This is 90% of the cuts that you get coming through the salon. We leave the back in the square. We're preserving the length in the corners, right? We're then using that round perimeter only from the corners of the square forward to create the face framing, okay? Unless they show you the heavily layered via Victoria's Secret, she's got baseball-sized pony hair, I would not recommend using the nape as your point from point A to B for your face framing, because you're gonna be cutting off all of this corner right here, unless she wants a shag, like a full shag, okay? And I, like someone like Vix's texture and density, if I did this round one length on her, it would be shagged out, which was so cute, right? I just did this on another lady. Who has the biggest hair here? Let me feel your hair density. Maybe. Can I feel your hair density? Is this all your hair?
No.
Okay. So,
She's okay.
but on that, oh, but whoa, I have done this very heavily layered haircut on extensions, and it's freaking gorgeous. So many stylists are afraid to cut extensions. They don't know how to do this layered haircut on extensions, right? So we'll deal with that another day, but again, the thicker the hair, the more dramatic the angle can be, while then increasing those layers, right? So, like I said, for review, corner in the back, shortest point in the front here. I'll go ahead and do it one more time on this side. So, you know what? I'm not even gonna do triangular. Oh, well, maybe I'll do triangular one length for the purpose of this video, but you guys are only gonna do square and then turn it into round. And the things that I wanna know from you is, where are you starting your round guide at? Be able to tell me that and why. You can, it doesn't have to be dull head density and texture. You can be like, this is my long-haired, thick, you know, Cuban baddie with all this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she wants all these like heavy layers. You can make that up in your head. I don't care. Just tell me why you cut it the way you cut it, right? Where did my cutting comb go? Oh, it's over there. So what I want to see from you guys is first your one length, and then Brittany and I can check that. Even Allie can probably check that, the square one length. Even Vix can check that. Square one length, we just want to check for balance and corners, right? And then from the round, from the square, we want to move into a round, and I want you to be able to tell me where you're starting your round guide at, okay? So, do you guys want me to cut the true round on this side?
Yes.
So you can see the difference?
With the same guide?
Same guide,
Or, I mean, like,
same,
length of the
yeah,
face frame?
same guide. Okay. This is my true guide right there.